How are you doing?
Oh, I'm just a bundle of nerves, but I'm unwinding one thread at a time.
Oh,
How are you doing?
I'm just a fork in a world of soup. So I guess we're doing just fine. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of Doing Just Fine. I'm your host, Christal.
And I'm Cathlyn.
And how have you been? What have you been doing?
Well, it's the new year.
That's right.
Yes.
Happy New Year's
Thank
to
you.
everyone.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Mhm.
This isn't our first episode that we recorded.
Yeah.
But it's the new year, so there isn't much going on for me. But I guess there's been a lot of things that I've been inspired by, which we'll talk about later when we talk about why we wanted to do this podcast. So yeah, there's not much. I'm just chilling, just nongkrong.
Non-krong. So you didn't book any clients for your business. You didn't graduate with your MBA.
Okay, so this is my credentials, everybody. Just to preface, I have my bachelor's, I have my master's, I have my MBA, I have a business, maybe multiple.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. But yeah, I think I'm at a point where I don't know if this is even talking about what I'm doing, but just mentally, right? I feel like I'm at a point where ideally I still want a 9 to 5, but that 9 to 5 is just going to be my side thing.
For your main passion.
For my main business, right? For what I want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think because I delve into more of business in general, I think we've been inspired to go to multiple different types of events, explore other possibilities, other futures, talk about, random ideas, new ideas for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So a year of inspiration.
A year of inspiration.
Oh,
Look
that's
at
good.
us. Yeah.
So happy for you.
Thank you. What about you, Christal?
Good question. Okay, so last year, 2024. Now that's new year. So last year, that's so crazy to say. Last year, okay, so last year I graduated with my associate. Oh, these are my credentials. Yes. I graduated with my associates in communication, and then on a whim, I decided to continue on to get my bachelor's.
As you should.
So that's what I'm doing now. And then, yeah.
What are your other credentials?
Yeah. Dude, that's literally
what else are you doing for fun?
For fun?
Or for growth?
For growth?
Or for work? Or for your future?
For work. I'm interning at the local museum as a marketing intern, basically. I think it revived my love for museums again.
Yes.
Because I don't think any of us knew that this was a path. No one knew. We just don't talk. I mean, I'm sure we knew. There are people that are behind the scenes of museums, but it's just not something that was at the forefront of our minds.
Yeah.
Because we were raised to be nurses. So, but yeah, that's where I'm leaning towards, and hopefully that gets me to New York.
Okay, wait, side story. Tabitha. Who's Tabitha?
My name is Christal Tabitha. Continue.
Okay, so Tabitha, tell us the story of when Miss Selena Gomez.
Okay, wild story, everyone. I was at the Whitney Museum in Soho, okay? This was a day that our group dispersed. I think this was the first time where each person was actually just out. And then I decided to go because it was rainy and I was like, you know what? I want to be indoors. So I went. Right. Okay. This was a really good exhibit. Okay. It was just like everything was pop of color. It was pop culture and all of that. It was a lot of retelling of modern society. Anyways, so I see this one photo that talks about body image, and I was like, wow, I'm like really inspired. And then I was taking pictures of this photo, and then I because I wasn't paying attention, I bumped into someone. I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're okay. And then she literally she grabs my shoulder and then she just glides it across my back as she was walking. And I was like, okay, girls support girls, you know?
Yeah.
And then this random chick came up to me and then she was like, you know who that was, right? And I was like, who? She's like, the girl you just bumped into. And I was like, no. She's like, that was Selena Gomez. I was like, wait, what? And then she's like, yeah, she's been wandering around here. Like, literally, the staff were trying to keep everyone calm. And just watching to make sure that she had a safe space.
Yeah.
And a little did I know that I wasn't safe from her. She bumped into me. And I was like, Selena Gomez.
Miss Selena?
Yeah, Miss Selena. I was so anyway, so that was one encounter. Luckily, that floor was kind of empty. So it's just me and that one girl and then a few other children just running around. And Selena just had to bump into me of all people. And I still have the picture of the photo or the picture of the artwork, but I don't have a picture of her.
It's fine. I mean, you were being respectful of her space.
Yeah.
She was, I guess, trying to be respectful of yours.
I guess. Well, if I knew that it was her, would I have reacted? I don't know.
Right.
I want her to feel like
a normie.
Yeah, a normie.
She deserves to be a normie every now and then, right?
That was the weekend of the Rare Beauty release of something. Yeah, so we all knew that she was in town.
Yeah.
And I think Taylor Swift was in town too for a couple days. Mm-hmm. And so we're like, oh, it'd be kind of funny if we bumped into one of them.
And you did.
And I literally did.
Literally
bumped into her. If that doesn't revive your spirit and calling for a museum, I don't know what will. Screw Starry Night, which we saw the same day. We saw that night.
Listen, I have been dying to see Starry Night. Yeah. Which it was still amazing, by the way. It is as grandeur as what everyone else says it is. It looks exactly like how it does on pictures.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you've seen a Getty photo, a Getty image, that's it.
Yeah. And don't come for us. No, there is appreciation in the art.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Listen,
Listen. Okay, so we went to New York several times, and every time we went, the piece was always loaned out or not as part of the live exhibit. Yeah. So we never had a chance to see it. Mm-hmm. And so this time around I was like, no, I have to go. We have to go.
Yeah.
And it was great.
It was there. It was a lot smaller than I thought. I'm not gonna lie. It was very crowded. And I think I understand the whole Mona Lisa thing. Mm-hmm. If you've seen those pictures where it's just crowded. And I was like, for what? But I get it. But at the same time, it's couldn't they just lift the painting a little higher so that we can all see? We were in a queue to get to the front. I was like, okay, guys.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Because that was at
MoMA.
At MoMA.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cool stuff at MoMA.
There was a lot of stuff.
Very modern.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Oh, sorry, detour.
That was just a fun little thing. Now I want to talk about every museum story.
Okay, we'll save that for another episode.
Yeah. Okay, stay tuned for the next episode where we dive into how we snuck into the Met.
Oh, yeah, that was wild. I think it's wild because we're not local, so it's not like we knew about this. So that
yeah.
was just like on a whim. We just had to pee. That's it.
That was it.
That was it.
That's actually the story.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So anyways, museums.
So yeah, so that's where I'm at now. That's just to keep it brief. The next episode will be about us. So
yeah.
What projects have inspired you?
Okay. So things that's been inspiring to me, we actually went to a supper club. And at this supper club we met, the big group of women who kind of came together, eat dinner, and just like talked and connected about life and stuff. And they were, I don't know, inspiring.
They were inspiring. And like, I think it was one of those moments where, at least for me, I realized again how big the world is, or like maybe not the world itself, but like there are just literally 8 billion people on this earth that I like haven't really met yet.
So we went to the supper club in LA, and it was kind of just like a night where a group of women got together to talk about a topic, right? This could be any topic, but our night's topic, it was themed the crossroads. And at the crossroads, like the main question was, what's a point in your life
that shifted in what point of your life did a crossroad appear, and how did it impact you in your decisions?
Yeah. Something like that. I feel like it's another question.
Oh, I mean, that's the question that we answered at my table.
Yeah.
That's the only question we answered at my table.
Yeah, I guess our table was like started talking about the same thing, about like doors opening and doors closing. And yeah, so like we got pretty deep into my table. So kind of rundown about this, right? So even though we went together, we were sat in different tables. And so we kind of meet a whole new group of women in whom we've never met before.
Yeah, strangers.
Just strangers. We're just strangers. So yeah, so we were just talking about that. And so we talked a lot about, like careers, love, right? Marriages and divorce even, and just like moving cross countries. So that's kind of what we talked about.
Yeah. It's interesting because like those are topics that you can definitely hit within like maybe under like 2 hours, right? But we were there for like nearly 4.
Yeah.
We were talking about, at least for my table, we were just talking about like there's a girl that started her own business, and that was her crossroad because it was actually her family's hobby business kind of thing, and then she never wanted to do it. But at one point she realized that like she was good at it and that she actually liked it. So she did that. So that was an impact for her. And another girl, her crossroad was that she didn't want to get married to this guy. And so her crossroad was basically telling him no. And so that changed a lot for her, and she moved to LA from like, I don't know, Texas or something like that. Then the other one was realizing that there was a world so much bigger than her hometown, which is like she grew up really rich. And so she left, and then she started like traveling or whatever. But it was interesting because we all had a different interpretation of that prompt. And then like for me, it was like going back to school. So it was just like interesting to hear other women talk about their own interpretation of those prompts. And then we all were able to commiserate basically together that it was for us really big changes. It's a very humbling experience because we're not special. Like,
that's just it.
We're not special. And it's interesting coming from us who were grown to believe that we were for like ever, and meeting other women and being like, oh, wait, your story is literally like mine.
Right.
And it's like, it was kind of a shock, very like healing, because then it's like, oh, like I'm not alone basically in this journey. So that was inspiring for my table.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to us being special, you know, we are literally the generation who adults, society, the government even was like, no, you are special. You know, I grew up watching Mr. Rogers telling me I was special.
That's true. That's true.
And it's also like, okay, if I'm special and you're special and he's special, then who's special? Like what's really special if we're all individually special, supposed to be.
Yeah. There is like this like epiphany that people came, like older millennials that came across of how millennials is the generation of participation trophies.
Ooh,
So that really ties in really well because it's like you don't want people to feel left out, but the use of the word special is just thrown out to everyone. That's like when you finally get into the real world and realize that you're not, it like heavily impacts people. And so not that it like heavily impacted me negatively at this event, but I was just surprised of how many people were like me.
Yeah.
And so out of like the 8 billion people in the world, like it's just crazy that I found not one, not two, not three, but like 4 other women who had the exact same experience as me. So it was just like a millennial moment for me.
I think it was just like a you're not special moment.
Yeah, it's not like an aggressive one.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, like you're not special. Like look around you.
Right.
And I think that, at least for me, resonated very deeply with like women really support women. That was that moment for me. So you know the quote, wrong place, wrong time. Right place, wrong time. Okay.
We're not cutting that.
Hate you guys. Okay, so you know the quote, right place, wrong time. Anyways, a very interesting quote because this podcast is definitely one of those. I think it's funny that we tried doing this a couple years ago, but it just was not the right time for us.
No.
But I personally think that now is a great time to do it.
Yeah, I feel like now we're at a better place because I do want to say the time, the place that we were recording it at before too was also wrong place.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. And I think it's also an interesting thought too, how we have now a fully developed brain.
Right.
So it makes more sense for us to do this now, be fully aware of our actual thoughts now.
Yeah.
I think the last couple years since we ended the first trial of this podcast, it was a lot of like what ifs in our conversations of like, what if people didn't like it? What if I'm not good at it? But I think after experiencing life a little bit more, especially like post pandemic and all that, I think we transitioned from what if to why not.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's really important for this revival is, why not use this platform?
Yeah, so that's why we thought it would be really cool to kind of use this podcast as a way to highlight people in our community that we're from who did the why not, right?
Yeah.
Who didn't necessarily follow the path that our parents forced us to do, our community forced us to think that this was the only way or whatever. Yeah. I know me specifically, like I grew up in a household where there was some expectation of like, oh yeah, you should be in healthcare. You should be a nurse. You should be a teacher. You should, you know, do all of these things. But I did none of that.
Word, same.
Yeah. And I feel like while, yes, a lot of it comes from the home, I feel like a lot of it also comes from outside, right? Like your friends that you see and you hang out with all the time. Whether we know it or not, there's the added pressure of like, oh shoot, my friend is also now a nurse, is a doctor, is doing this, is being what my parents expected me to do, but didn't. Yeah. But I didn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like this is like my personal experience. If you are part of the community that I am in, this is not about you. It may be. If the shoe fits.
If the shoe fits, then the shoe fits. What can I say?
But what I'm saying is like, this is about me.
Yeah. And like, I also felt that way. And so therefore we bonded over this experience. And that is why not start a podcast about it? Right. But yeah, I also feel the same way. I can't help but feel, not that I feel jealous of these people, because I don't know how else to express the non-jealousy I feel about the people who are in the medical field, who have graduated from the medical field and have like, basically led a more traditional lifestyle, which is not bad. Like if that's what you want to do, like by all means, like I'm happy that you're happy. It's just, I can't help but feel sad for my parents sometimes, just because like I know that's something that they would have really loved for me to experience. But again, like after we went to the supper club, it reaffirmed that like the world is so much bigger that I just don't have the calling to be what they expected us to be or expected me to be. And like, it also helps that I'm the youngest child and that my sister's already a nurse. So I'm good here. No, not, yeah. But
it doesn't help that I got my MBA and I'm not using it.
So at the end of the day, like, I think it was a struggle for us to really find that compromise between chasing our dreams and also trying to hit milestones for our parents.
Oh, yes.
So there is like that, obviously still now-ish, but like there is a struggle between one side versus the other and trying to find that middle ground.
Yeah.
And so like for example, you have the MBA, but you said that you're not like really using it. But like if your parents get mad, you can just say, well, I have an MBA. Like, what do you want me to do?
I am the highest degree holder in this house.
Yeah. It's like, I gave this to you. Why can't I do my pursuits, So it's like that. I don't.
Yeah. My dad is super upset that I left my wonderful, actually, job in higher education. Do not that. I actually don't know. I had quit my job, so I don't. Yeah. But that's another story. Stay tuned. Everything is a stay tuned. But yeah, anyway, so it would basically throughout this whole limited series, we are gonna bring people that we know to talk about their experiences. Some of them are actually leaning more traditional in a way where they are in healthcare. Right. Yeah. They're still pursuing healthcare, just not in the expectation of like either being a nurse or being a doctor. Yeah. And then we also have people who like straight up just started their own empires of
basically
things,
they're ruling over.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we also have people who attempted to go to nursing school and then was like,
I hate it.
I hate this. This is not my passion. And actually followed his passion. So.
Yeah, I think that's really inspiring. So I want to say in like, we have different levels of people changing the community in their own ways. So everyone's not going to be the same. Everyone's going to be completely different. And I mean, we're already different. Yeah. So can you imagine people more different than us? Like, that's kind of crazy.
What? People can be different?
I know.
What's that like? look like?
This is just the gifted child pipeline.
The gifted child pipeline.
Gifted
the
child.
90s,
Yeah.
early 2000s child.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Yeah. We hope you find inspiration in this podcast.
And learn a little bit something about yourself along the way.
I'm Cathlyn.
And I'm Christal Tabitha.
And we're doing just fine.
Thanks for listening.